Tired of your old kitchen or bathroom? Upgrade to the home of your dreams with Manny and Courtney from CMK Construction. CMK Construction is Tampa's award-winning kitchen and bath leader for over 20 years. Right now, save $3,000 on a new kitchen and $2,000 on a new bathroom. And take advantage of our no money down and no interest financing until 2026. Imagine, design, build.
Streaming from the Tampa Bay 28 Weather Center in Studio A. This is Dennis Phillips Live. Brought to you by CMK Construction, crafting Tampa's most exquisite bathrooms and kitchens.
How you doing, everybody? It is a Friday night edition of Dennis Phillips Live. Thanks for stopping by. If you're watching on the spot, we are live nightly up until February 26th, when the Bolts are back in action after the winter break that they've gone through. So I'm kind of in decompress mode right now because I was live at the convention center, at the Tampa Convention Center, from 4:30 until about a half hour ago. And we were live at the Publix Gasparilla Distance Classic Health and Fitness Expo. That is a mouthful. And I was live the entire time. And what was so awesome, I cannot tell you how many people came up and said, "Hey, I watch you on DPL." And, you know, I sometimes wonder, I mean, I know we have our core group on social that we've been around for, a lot of people don't realize this. We've been doing this little streaming thing for like 20 years, way before the cool kids did it. I mean, we were doing it before Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook started doing live. We were doing it our own little, there was a Ustream or WeStream, or we all stream for ice cream. I don't know. One of those things. And Procaster was the software. And we used to do it. There was a bunch of us, about 200 of us. Mike Boylan, Mike's Weather Page was one of them. And some of the folks here, as I look at, were part of the original group as well. In fact, a lot of y'all are. And then it became a thing. Streaming became a thing, which y'all know about. And a lot of people were cutting the cords and they were going to streaming. Or they were watching on OTA, over the air. So what was once a cable environment that was pretty much just covered everything has changed a lot. So when we started doing DPL nightly, and especially on broadcast, I was like, yeah, I don't really know if it's going to work. Because I really didn't. I mean, you know, we talk amongst ourselves in the chat, and we love that. And it's a family atmosphere. And I've told you so many stories from people who have moved into the area. And it is, for lack of a better description, it's kind of like a family thing. I mean, yes, one of the folks years ago said, hey, it's like a bunch of people, 1,000 people in the backyard, all in their lawn chairs talking over each other. Yes. That is the chat. And a lot of people today said the same thing. I go into the chat and it makes me laugh. Now, I know some of y'all aren't trying to be funny, which is what's funny, but nevertheless, there is the humor. But so many people come up and say, oh yeah, we watch on TV, but we follow along on Facebook. And while maybe we don't comment, we're there on both platforms. And again, I owe this success to y'all. I mean, I mean that in all sincerity. I mean, you know, when someone accepts an Oscar or a Grammy or whatever, oh, you know, I don't want to take any credit or stuff. I want to give the credit to everybody else. And you're sitting home saying, Yeah, I don't believe you. I think you want some of the credit. But in this particular situation, this show, if you will, this is all you guys, because we've done this as a group. I mean, all your suggestions and all your comments, good and bad, and all the drama that goes on that makes us laugh, and Anna Maria for, sending the first ban button and everything else. And it's just kind of become a really nice thing. And again, once the Bolts are back up, when they play, we will be on the spot at times. Other times when the hockey games are on, they'll be on. And there's talk of expanding the show's coverage in hurricane season. So, we've done well. I owe that all to you. I mean that in all sincerity. And I'm always looking to add a little bit more substance, because there's only so many times you can sit there and listen to that weather guy in the blue hoodie babble for a half hour. So next week, we have a guest every single day on the show, I think. Jocelyn, producer/handler Jocelyn, y'all know her. She was out there today with me at the convention center. And I believe there is somebody every single day all of next week. And I'm getting messages from people and emails from people saying, hey, this is something in the community that we want to do. Can we be on DPL? Because ultimately, that is our goal. We've said this a million times. My goal in local broadcasting is to make us relevant to the community. And we're talking most of the Tampa Bay community. Yes, people watch us from all over. I had a woman today come up to me at the convention center from England. She watches us in England. So we get those, but my ultimate goal is to serve the community. And the community is the Bay Area. So most of the stuff that we do will be focused on the Tampa Bay area. We talk about other stuff, and we're going to talk about a potential snowstorm for the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast coming up this weekend. But my goal to this date, and it continues, is as long as people are interested in what's happening in the community, my goal is to kind of give some of that and maybe do some of the little bit of humor at times. That's my goal. So again, I appreciate every one of you. So the very first comment on here, it's gone. It made me laugh. It was a conspiracy comment. And I love a good conspiracy. Not going to lie, I love a good conspiracy. Now, I am not what you would consider a conspiracy fanatic, but I like myself a good conspiracy. And the very first line was a quote on my comments, was a quote from Lyndon B. Johnson, president back in the 60s. And the quote was, "He who controls the weather controls the world." I don't know if he said that. I Googled it, and it looks like he did back in 1962, potentially. At least that's what I found on Google. But, so, yes, I'm sure we have all heard the weather machine theories, and I know we have all heard the chemtrail theories, and I know there are some people that are absolutely adamant one way or the other, and that is something I pick my battles, and that is a particular battle I choose not to partake in. Me personally, I don't believe in a lot of that stuff. But you know what? I'm just one guy. And there are some folks who are so adamant that these things exist. I'm like, you know what? More power to you. But I ain't one of them. So do I believe there is a giant weather machine that you can control the weather? I do not. I thought I broke it again. That was my hand. I do not. Now, the people say, well, then why was there the bill that the Florida legislature passed on weather modification? You know what? I had no idea. I had no idea why they passed that bill. But in my opinion, I don't think it happens. All right? I don't. Now, is cloud seeding? How did I get on this topic? This is the last thing I wanted to do. Is cloud seeding a thing? Absolutely is. Dropping silver iodide into clouds in an attempt to provide rain into areas that needed rain or in droughts? Yes. It has been a thing for a long time. And has it been successful? To my knowledge, that answer would be no. But you know what? Hey, You know, I will entertain the conversations. Hey, I'll say it again. I love a good conspiracy theory. So, you know what? and I have many of them, and my kids know about them, which I will not be sharing with y'all. But there are some conspiracies I'm in on. But the whole big weather machine thing, that ain't one of them. Okay, so, all right, here's what we're going to do, all right? We actually have a lot of weather to talk about. Next segment, after the break, we're going to talk about massive changes to our weather. We're going to go on to that. Then the next break will come in, and we'll talk about big snowstorm in the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast potentially. Keyword, potential. You know, you say potentially, it's like to cover your rear. You know, big snowstorm, maybe. Big, huge snowstorm, possibly. No, there's going to be a big storm. The question is, will it make it to the coast or will it be just offshore? Not us. If you're just tuning in, did he say we're going to have a big snowstorm? No. But we're going to have wind chills in the 20s on Tuesday morning. And then our last segment, if there's any time, heat lightning round. Back in 90 seconds with our rain, our fog, our heat, and our cold as DPL continues. How did I get on the conspiracy stuff? How the heck did that was a mistake. That was a mistake. I don't even know why. Because you guys know as well as I do, there are some people out there, I mean, and they get nasty. You know, they start calling out everything that I'll ever say or do. I should look for that video. I can't find it. We're going to come back to that when the TV people comes back, because it is funny. Rebecca wants to talk about meatloaf. Don't know. Are you talking about RIP Meatloaf passed away, right? Yeah, he did. He was a big fantasy football guy. Did you know that? Meatloaf, who has some great songs. I love a lot of old Meatloaf stuff. But are we talking Meatloaf food, or are we talking about Meatloaf? Exactly. Linda wants to know the meal or the singer. Jane, how you doing? Yes, you're right, Mary, because squirrel. Because hashtag squirrel. Bermuda Triangle. I don't believe that one. This is what it's going to turn into. Tonight has now become a conspiracy theory show. It is not my intent. Welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live. This has become and it's out of my hands. It's out of my control. This show in the comments has now become a conspiracy theory show, because now I'm reading, and people are asking about Meatloaf. I don't know if they're asking about the performer or the food. I was a big fan of Meatloaf. Paradise in the Dashboard Light, quite possibly the most brilliant song in the history of mankind. How about that for a hot take? How about that for a hot take? I would argue Paradise by the Dashboard Light is quite possibly the best song ever created. I mean, it was such a smart song, and such a great song, and such a long song. Brilliant. All right, anyway, now they're talking aliens, and you guys are talking 2 out of 3 ain't bad, which is a Meatloaf song, because Joe Madden, former Rays manager, used to say, and Dave Wills, also rest in peace, good friend of mine, passed away 2 or 3 years ago, which was shocking. He used to always say when the Rays would take 2 out of 3 in a series, he would say, hey, we Meatloafed them. And the reference is 2 out of 3 ain't bad. If you didn't know, now you know. Anyway, stop right there. Oh, come on. Greatest song ever. All right, I digress. Let's get into the weather. Before we get into the weather, I do want to say one more thing. So we're talking about, conspiracy theories and whatnot. And 25 years ago, true story, if you YouTube it, you'll find it. And every now and again, someone will send me this video. 25 years ago, I was on TV, pre-suspenders. I had a jacket on, and I was but a pup. I looked like I was 12. And I was doing the morning show, the morning news, because I did the morning news before I went to the nighttime news. here in Tampa. And I was talking about a phenomenon known as chaff. Chaff is a thing. Chaff is a thing that the military uses in terms of radar jamming. Little thin strips of aluminum, and it is used to jam the radar. It is a thing. It is not conspiracy. It is not debatable. It is a thing. Well, somehow me talking about that on TV has been intertwined in a chemtrail video. So every now and again, I will get, and this is like 25, I don't know when it was. Somebody look at it for me on YouTube. 25 years ago, I do this, and now every now and again I'll get this, well, the weather guy believes in chemtrails. No, I do not. My opinion, I'm entitled to it. I will not, if you don't believe in chemtrails, and that's okay too. That's your prerogative, but I don't. And I know the whole weather modification bill that the Florida legislature introduced and everything, I get it. Like, I don't know why they did it. I'm not in politics. I don't care about politics. It's not my thing. But somehow, Rebecca, very nice to see you too. Now you guys are talking about using ketchup on meatloaf. See, this is what's happened. This is what happens to this show. It takes a life of its own, and I cannot control it. Nor would I ever want to be honest, because you guys make me laugh so much. And now you're talking about adding Worcestershire sauce mixed with ketchup and brown sugar on top for Rebecca. From Rebecca. Worcestershire. Now, when I worked in Providence, Rhode Island for a big 6 months there, my very first day on the air, I said Worcester, but I didn't say Worcester, which is what you're supposed to say. I said Worcester, and I got yelled at for that one. I digress. Okay, let's get back to the weather. Stop right there. Greatest song ever. I mean, and you know what? It's not an appropriate song for the kids. So if you're not familiar, okay, disclaimer right now. If you are not familiar with the song Paradise by the Dashboard Lights by Meatloaf, where have you been? Who's producing the show today? Is Kylie producing? Is anybody out there? Peter. No, I don't know. They're not good. They're all at lunch. They're all at dinner. Anyway, if you do not know the song and you have a child around, it's probably not an appropriate age. No, it's definitely not an age-appropriate song, but it's such a good song. It is such a good song. Okay. Joe just said, dude. Joe, please elaborate. Please elaborate, okay? Because I have, Nancy's talking about guac. Sandy's talking about bacon on top of meatloaf, yum. All right, Michael's driving back to PA, wants to know if it's going to snow. All right, I will talk about that. All right, who's Art? Is Art needing the buzzer? I'm kind of in the mood. If you don't start talking weather soon, I'm dumping you. Okay, you know what, Art? Well, I'm going to beat you to the punch. You know what, Art? You're gone. So I just banned Art from all live streams. All right, you tell me, really, if you don't talk about weather soon, we're going to dump you. Nope, sorry, beat you to the punch, buddy. You're gone. All right, quickly. Let's get the weather. All right, Gail's talking about the FSU Mag Lab moves weather. Oh, boy, here we go. Thank you, Ann. I do appreciate it. Okay, here we go. We're still in a drought. We know we're still in a drought. I really don't even want to show the map anymore because we all know we're in a drought. Okay, here we go. Radar, nothing going on. All's quiet, all right? Maybe a few showers late tomorrow night or early on Sunday morning. All right, there's the radar. Temperatures right now, upper 70s. It only took me 17 minutes to get into the weather. That's a good day, right? Sebring and Avon Park both at 80. This morning, we started in the 60s. There was some patchy fog out there. It was dense in a few spots. It will be again tomorrow. And, oh, wait a minute. Did someone stop talking, me love, and let's get on with the weather? Where is that? That's, I can't. Yes, I can. Sorry. Donna, gone. Sorry, I'm not in the mood. Say bye to Donna, too. All right. Wow, we hit 91 today in Plant City and 90 in Avon Park. Wow. And we talked about that earlier on. We said we thought it would be a potential 90 degrees, and it was. It definitely was. 73 right now, partly cloudy at the airport. The dew point in the 70s. No, in the 60s, rather. High today, 83 in Tampa, 8 degrees above average, 11 degrees above average this morning. Eric says, so is China or Russia causing the drought with weather modification? I know you know. I don't know. All right, there's the sea fog overnight. We will see some coastal fog in a couple of spots tomorrow morning. It will not be widespread, but there will be some fog out there. Burns off a very nice afternoon. By tomorrow night, you start to see the... Ryan, I agree with you 100%. Bat Out of Hell is one of the greatest albums of all time. I 100% agree with you on that. All right, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, we start to see the showers up north. Okay, so overnight, Saturday night into Sunday morning, 2 a.m., line of rain starts to come in. All right, 6 a.m., nothing more than a few scattered showers. I do not think we are going to see thunder or lightning with it, or heat lightning for that matter. But I do think we'll see a few scattered showers. Stan is like, break, break, break. I know I got to get to a break. I know I'm so heavy, but I got to get through the forecast first. 10 o'clock, those showers push through, the clouds linger. And then the cold air comes in. How cold, you may ask? Well, not tomorrow. Look, cornbread stuffing mixed with ground turkey, good meatloaf. You guys have completely, we're just off the tracks. Tomorrow morning, 60s. There will be fog in the morning. Oh, man, I am heavy. Holy cow, I got to hit a break. All right, we see a little bit of fog on Sunday morning before the rain comes, and then the cold air arrives. And there it is. Highs on Monday, 56. Highs on 60 Tuesday. And there will be wind chills in the 20s to low 30s on Tuesday morning. Fog in the morning, sunny in the afternoon tomorrow. Highs again inland near 90. Sunday, a few early morning showers. No storms, no severe. Clouds linger till the afternoon. Temperatures fall through the day on Sunday. Monday morning, you notice the chill. Tuesday morning, we don't see a freeze for most of the area, but there will be freezing wind chills. Got to hit a break, back in 90 seconds. Holy cow. Hey, it's a Busch Gardens spot. Well, that's pretty cool. All right, so we have a Busch Gardens spot during DPL. That's pretty neat. I didn't have my reading glasses. All right, so you guys are all talking meatloaf. I had to ban 2 people. I could have given the guac story, but once you're on a roll, you guys know it's just like it just snowballs. And I know some of you guys even said guac. Linda's birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday, Linda. Happy birthday. Are plants impacted by wind chills? Lauren, that is a great question, and the answer is no. That's a really good question. I love that question. And the answer is no. And you know what? I am going to mention that on air because that is, people need to know that. Frost on the coast, I don't think so. I'm just scrolling up, see if there's anybody else I need to ban. I don't think so. I think we're good. You know what, Tina, I like the stories. You know me. I like telling stories. I just do. It's fun. And this was not intending to be a conspiracy show or a meatloaf show. All right. Still say that's a great album. Back in 3, 2. Welcome back. Quickly, we are going to talk about big snowstorm for part of the mid-Atlantic, okay? Let's jump into that. We're going to start with us local. Here are a look at the temperatures. By the way, very good question. Someone just asked me, are plants impacted by wind chills? The answer is no. Great question. If the wind chill is 50 billion below zero, but the air temperature is 35, the plants will not freeze and it will not impact them. So that is a great question. Tammy said she loves the squirrel chit-chat. Well, I hope so, because clearly, if you don't like the chit-chat about with squirrels, you're in the wrong place. You're going to be like, what is this? All right, look at Monday. The euro continues to drop temps. 51 on Monday, 55 on Tuesday. But will we be looking at a freeze Tuesday morning? Citrus and Hernando County will probably freeze. That is the bottom line. Citrus and Hernando County will probably freeze. I don't think there'll be frost on Tuesday because the winds will be too high. However, there could be frost in northern counties on Wednesday, potentially. But we'll have to watch that one on Monday. We'll have to keep an eye on it. All right, quickly. Got another break to hit. The GFS continues to show 6 to 12 inches of snow across the Delmarva in toward Philly. I think Philly's going to get 6 to 12 inches of snow. If this verifies, this is 6 to 10 inches of snow all the way along the coast. But look, this is the GFS. Look at the Euro. Look at what we have here, my friends. The GFS may very well have finally, even the blind squirrel finds a nut. Because GFS, Euro, they both show significant snow from Boston down to Philly. And that is huge because the GFS has been showing this for days and the Euro has not been. So what does that mean? It means the GFS got its one time it will be right and won't be right again for the next 6 months. But it looks like this is the time, and there is going to be 6 to 12 inches of snow from Philly up to Boston. What about New York City? We have another break to hit. We'll be back for our last 30-second segment coming up as DPL continues. Holy cow. Wait a minute, let me look at something real quick. NWS. I'm curious if the Weather Service is going snow for New York. I mean, I think they should. Maybe 4 to 6. Let's see. They are going 3 to 7. Yep. Actually, no, maybe even 6 to 12. So mark this day on your calendar, my friends. I think BWI is going to be a little bit west. You guys stick around. We will continue DPL after TV is over, and I will answer all the questions on that. But gosh, that's a close call. So I think Baltimore is probably going to be maybe 2 to 4. But the closer you are to the coast, the more snow you're going to get. And how about that for a change? Because that's pretty rare. So yeah, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to, Long Island 10 to 13. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh yeah, there will be delays. There will be delays on Monday. No doubt there will be. Okay, we're going to continue on Facebook after we say goodbye to our folks on streaming and on TV when they are back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Conspiracies Are Us. I'm Tampa Bay 28 Chief Meteorologist Dennis. I don't know how it happened. Today, what we get from DPL is we love meatloaf. Apparently, you guys love meatloaf with lots of different ways. I love the album Bat Outta Hell. Paradise by the Dashboard Light is one of the greatest songs ever written. We are going to get fog in the morning, a chance of showers early on Sunday morning, and wind chills in the 20s on Tuesday morning. Potential freeze, Citrus, Hernando, maybe Pasco as well on Tuesday morning. Now, folks, if you're watching on TV, thank you for putting up with our nonsense. If you're watching on streaming, we appreciate you. I am going to continue to answer questions about the big snowstorm because it does look like the GFS finally did it right, and it predicted before any of the other models a big snow event from the mid-Atlantic. Baltimore probably 2 to 4. D.C. maybe about the same. But you go to Philly and you go to New York, you're talking 6 to 12 and maybe up to 18 inches of snow. Folks, thanks for watching. We'll be hanging out on Facebook for a while longer. Have a great weekend. You know what? I never have any idea what direction this show is going to go. And I partially blame you guys for this because I'll just throw something out there. And you know me, who knows what it is. But then you guys pick up on it. And then I look and I see what you guys are saying, and then I just kind of pick up on it and go from there. Which I truly do love that. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it makes the show fun. I cannot believe that the GFS got it right. I cannot believe it. No, I do love you guys. Mary, I do. You know that. All right, let's go ahead. Look a little bit closer now, shall we? Let's look a little bit closer at some of these snowfall totals. Now let's look at the euro, because the euro was going nothing. Everything was offshore. So let's look at the Northeast. Let's call up the Northeast. Here we go. And let's call up snow. Where's the snow totals on here? Sure, it's probably snow. Okay. All right, here we go. So get your bearings if you need geography lessons. There's the Delmarva, there's Philly, there's Jersey, there's New York, there's Boston right there. All right. See that? Okay, here we go. Let's look. Okay, so this is Sunday morning, 8 o'clock. Okay, Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock. Sunday night, 8 o'clock. You're looking at the numbers. Philly about an inch. New York, maybe an inch. Boston, about an inch. Heavier snow upstate New York. Okay, overnight, Sunday night. Monday morning. The low starts to what we call bomb out off the Carolinas. And then it starts to lift north. So it's 8 a.m. on Monday. Now there's the total. There's where it jumps, all right? From 8 a.m. on Monday to 2 p.m. on Monday. Look at the difference. 8 a.m., 2 p.m. Boston goes from 5 to 6 inches to a foot. Cape Cod, a foot. Providence, a foot. Philly the euro is going more 3 to, maybe 3 to 5. Maybe up to 6. The Delmarva, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, Delmarva, 3 to 4 inches. DC, 4 to 6. This is the euro. And then look at Boston by Monday night. 18 inches of snow by Monday night at the Cape. Boston with 15 inches. So there it is. All right? So that's the euro. All right? Let's look at the GFS. Let's use a different map. Northeast, GFS. I'll use the 12Z. All right. Okay, so let's see what the GFS is showing. All right, it's loading. Boy, that can't be right. No, this is bad data, because that's clearly not even close to being right. Well, I take that back. That's like 6 to 8. The GFS is like 6 to 8 in that area right there, and actually even up to 10 to 12 in like Annapolis to Baltimore. Well, let's look at the other map, because so here's yeah, that ain't right. There's no way, because look at that low Sunday night right there, 991. That entire area is heavy snow, and that is probably snow at the rate of 2 to 3 inches per hour. I mean, that is a really sizable snow event, and that's from like DC. Boy, I wonder what Baltimore's forecast is. I'm curious about that. Let me see. Let me check that out. So Baltimore's going, the Weather Service is going 2 to 4 for Baltimore. Let's see about, no, that's Dulles. That's Dulles. No. Let's look at Baltimore. Because, yeah, Dulles is way more west. Baltimore is going 3 to 5. Because of the chance of rain and snow. See, and that's the difference. That's the difference right now. The Weather Service is going a mixture of rain and snow in Baltimore. Whereas when you go to areas to the northeast, it'll just be all snow. Like New York City, I would think New York City's going to probably see, what are they saying here? They're going 2 to 4, another 3 to 7, 5 to 12, 6 to 14. So between probably a foot of snow. So yeah, guys, this is going to be a major snow event for Philly, all of Jersey, all of New York, Long Island, a foot of snow, New York City, a foot of snow, Boston, maybe 14 to 16, the Cape, maybe 8, Cape Cod, maybe 18, Worcester, a little bit less because it's a little bit more to the west. A little more to the west. Yeah, this is gonna be road trip. Anybody? Man, I would do it. I would absolutely go on a road trip. I 100% would. Oh yeah, Mary said that too. Mary said road trip. Man, could we get up there? Would we be able to make it up there in time? We would. Like, if I left in the morning, I don't think I can do it. I don't think Ryan has her drama stuff tomorrow morning. We'd miss that. And I think I've got a guest on DPL Monday. I can't remember who. That's priorities, right? Oh, that would be fun, though. Man, Adam's like, nope, I don't want to see snow ever. Like, Adam, I lived up north a good I lived Virginia, Northern Virginia, and then I went to Penn State. I mean, I lived a good portion of my life where it snowed a good bit. I still like it. I don't want to live in it. I don't want to shovel it. I don't want to drive in it. But one of the nicest things in the world, in my mind, is right after or during a snow event when it's night out and you walk outside and it's so quiet because the snow absorbs sound. It's a really awesome thing. I mean, I love that. I would not want to live in it, but I would definitely visit it. Patty's like, I'll road trip south. Michael, leave Sunday afternoon. I'm crashing in Charlotte. Monday, back of the road, Lancaster by Monday. Yeah, I guess you'll be okay. I don't know. Maybe Monday might be still tricky, but they know what they're doing up there. It's not like Florida when we get something and they don't know, they wouldn't know what to do if it snowed. Atlanta, kind of the same way. But you live up north, they know what they're doing. I mean, if there's too much snow in a short period of time, then nothing they can do about it. Nothing you can do about that. But I mean, in general, they kind of know how to handle a big snowstorm. I think they do. So, all right. So that's kind of where we are. Let's recap, shall we? On Monday, what I'll do is I'll try to get some kind of a live, live with somebody in the snow, because that would be kind of fun. So we'll try to do that on Monday's DPL. So let's recap, temperature-wise for us. Highs mid to upper 80s on Saturday. Low 90s. We had 91 today in Plant City. Crazy. Tomorrow, just as warm. Sunday, a few showers in the morning. And then all the temperatures drop. On Monday, high temperatures will fall through the day on Sunday, and then we only warm up to 56, maybe even lower than that, because if you were looking at the euro, it was a high, I think, of 51 on Monday. And then again, Tuesday morning, we're going to have I would think, at the very least, Pasco County North will see a freeze with wind chill advisories more than likely. And then, unfortunately, with the rain, all we've got is Sunday, and even that's probably not very much. So we go from there. There's your rainfall totals. Alas, not very much. Only about 1/10 of an inch if we are very lucky, and probably not even. So there's your forecast tonight. Cleared to partly cloudy with fog developing early morning between around 6 and 9. And then the 7-day. There it is. 82 to 80, actually 82 to 90 tomorrow. And then on Sunday, some rain around. And then Monday, Very cold, very windy. Same thing on Tuesday, and then we warm back up again. So that's it, guys. I frantically left the convention center to make it back here for DPL, and I had no idea what we were going to talk about, and I should have known better. I should have known that you guys would come to the rescue because, let's see, we had 2 bands. We started with Lyndon Johnson talking about weather modification. Then we talked about chemtrails in that YouTube video that I'm in. You just never know. You never know. So thank you as always. You guys have a great night. I'm going to go eat my dinner. And I will see you on Monday night's edition of Dennis Phillips Live. See you guys.